Okay, so good morning, everybody, and welcome to the webinar Agency Administration. By the beginning of the year, it is a perfect timing for Sabre customers to organize their workflow for the rest of the year. By providing useful tips about how to optimize the use of Sabre help tools, self-help tools available, we contribute to make the agency's daily dynamics easier and add value to your task. Learning how to efficiently manage EPRs, download reports, update user profiles in Sabre Central, manage the site is key for you to work in an autonomous way and make optimal use of time. So I will now just make some comments about the organization of this meeting we have today. First of all, this session will last 60 minutes, okay? So we will be together along the next hour. All your lines have been muted, and that is to guarantee a correct development of the session, to avoid background noise that might affect the quality of sound, and to make sure our presenters today are not distracted by that. Effective now, the chat window is active, so you can send your questions or comments through the chat, and I will pass them to our guest speakers. Make sure, please, that when you send your question, comments, you select the option All Panelists, and any of us, me in this case, that will be the moderator, and the presenters will see the questions. In that way, we make sure that we are not missing any valuable information. This session is being recorded, and we will upload it to our YouTube channel later, and we will share it with you. And within the next 24 hours, we will send you via email a supporting material set that will include the presentation, the recording, and also the link to the customer satisfaction survey. So let's now review the agenda topics that we will cover today. We will talk about employee profile records, EPRs, how to display them, and the citizen table, the CST. You will learn to create, modify, and delete EPRs. Also, you will hear about passcode resets, agency security, and how to contact Sabre EPR support. The other main topic today will be Sabre Central admin tools, and the contents will be how to manage site access, placing orders, downloading reports, invoices, tracking support cases, how to enroll to trainings, among other things. So, as I mentioned before, I will be your host today, okay? My colleague Leandro is currently in another session for customers of other regions, so we send him our greetings. Today, I'm based in Montevideo, Uruguay, and my mission today will be to monitor the chat and pass the questions to our speakers. I will also be attentive to your comments. Just for you to know, in case any of the questions are not answered, we will actually try to do so in the follow-up material that we will send you later. And now I'm so thrilled to present our guest presenters of today. They are Jane Thompson. She is based in Bridgetown, Barbados, and also Analia Maidana, who is based here in Montevideo, like me, in Uruguay. And they will be our guest presenters. So Jane and Analia, welcome. It is our pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you, Carolina. It's my pleasure to be here too. And good morning to everyone.
Thank you, Carolina. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. So, being that said, we will begin with the presentations, and I will give you, Jane, control of the session so you can start delivering your presentation.
Okay, so Analia, do you have a presentation up that you can share it with me?
Yes, I don't know if you want me to show the presentation to keep it
Yeah,
concise.
please. Yeah.
Carolina?
Yes. Will you be presenting? So let me just give you the control over here. Just a second.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Give me just a second, please. Okay. Analia, let me know if you are able to get control of the session. I
Okay.
already assigned you the privilege to do so.
Great. Let me try. I can, yeah.
Okay, I will just confirm when we can see the contents. Okay. Okay, thank you, Analia. Now we can see it. Thank you. You
I
can
can see the
proceed,
presentation.
Jane.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just going to move to the next slide, okay?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, good morning again, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here to present the Sabre Central admin tools to you. We at Sabre value our relationship with our customers, and we're always looking for ways to empower our agent community. Basically giving you tools that make your everyday job easier. I am sure that you're all familiar with Sabre Central, maybe as it relates more so to Form Finder, but today I want to reinforce the benefits of Sabre Central by highlighting the self-help admin tools, which some of you may be familiar with some of them, but I want to go over basically what those admin tools are, these tools that we have developed to help you save time and efficiently manage your agency. As we all know, the global pandemic has forced many changes and disruptions, and one of the big ones in Sabre is the changes that we've had to make to our service model. Hopefully after this session, you'll be able to complete your admin functions faster and easier. In the next session, which Analia is going to go into more detail on the keywords, but for the admin functions, you really need to have the create keyword and the sub-manager keyword. This session is really targeted to managers and supervisors. So Analia, if you could move to the next slide, please. Okay. So when you access Sabre Central, you usually land on this screen, this page, which is your home page. You can see some function tabs which you access from here, from this page, but if you go to my agency and I have it highlighted here with the red arrow, if you click on that, my agency from the top bar, you will get a more concise, easy on the eye screen. Annalie, if you can go to the next screen. So when I click on my agency, this is what I get, some really cool tabs. And I want you to pay attention to this screen because what we're going to be talking about today is managed site access, reports, agency ordering, and invoices in particular. All right, so the first admin tool I want to highlight is the site access. And the administrator of the agency is usually the owner or designated manager. So site access is where the administrator would go to assign an agent access to certain secure functions, like agency ordering, reports, billing, etc. Once you come to this screen, it defaults to your PCC, And you have the choice of either selecting a specific EPR, if you know what the EPR is you want to give some secure functions to, or further in the bottom, you will get a list of names, and you can also select the name that you want to, the EPR rather, that you want to assign functions to. Now, to update this, let's say you wanted to assign either billing, ordering, reports, you would hover the mouse. I hovered in ordering because I want to place an order. So you would hover the mouse in the ordering box, which is the corresponding function you want to manage. And a pencil will come up. You just click the pencil and place the check mark in the box. Right? So as easy as that. And then you just save that, and a message will come to your account manager who will complete the order. Saves you lots of time. So let's say you wanted to get an additional line IATA. A lot of agents are deleting line IATAs now, but let's say the example I'm going to use here is how to add a terminal address. So you would click on that agency ordering in the tab under My Agency. And the first screen that will come up will default to your PCC again. This is a Sabre person, but it will default to your PCC. And you just need to go to the left, the tabs on the left, click Add Terminal Address. And once you do that, a second screen will pop up, which you need to complete. So one thing I want to mention is this is not for products. This ordering here is strictly to do with line IATAs, PCC, and so on, not to order a product. So on the second screen, it tells you how to use that screen. And the first thing it says is click the checkbox on the left to select the terminal address you require. And most often it's workstation, a standard workstation address. Again, you hover to get the quantity, you hover the mouse over the pencil icon and add how many you want to order. That's an important step. Don't forget that. And then it will tell you what the charge is for that order that you have just placed. So as the owner or manager, you wanted to know how many bookings your agency made in December. So where do you go? Back to your activity, your My Agency, and you're going to click on Reports. So under Reports, you have a choice of 4 different types: booking activity, operational, scans, and functionality. Sorry, specialty. I'm not seeing the screen quite clearly. Specialty. Under each of those reports, you have some sub-reports. And this one, the booking activity reports, is one that I find most agencies or most managers, supervisors would ask me about this one. How do you access this? So here you've got the booking activity by PCC. You've got the booking activity by carrier and agent sign, lodging, ground, and sea, which we used to call non-air. But this is your lodging, ground, and sea bookings. If you wanted to see, how many bookings you're doing for a given supplier, you can go here. Hotel detail report and your efficient access solution booking report. Under your operational reports, you've got EPR activity. This is a good one to remember because this will tell you which EPRs are being used and which are not, so you can go ahead and delete. You've also got Sabre configuration, and this gives you an idea of your line IATAs and when they were last used and so on, so you can manage that process. It also gives you password management report, and this is a really good one because this will tell you which of your agents have set their password. I believe Analia will talk about this in a more detail, but which of your team members, your agents, have set their answers to the security questions. And this is really important because when they get locked out, then they don't need someone to reset that for them. They can do that themselves. And you've also got here the contact cases report, really good report for people who are doing training. And so, because this gives you an idea of what your agents are calling or contacting, because we don't call anymore, they're contacting the help desk about, and you can use that to manage your training. Next slide, please. All right, and then we've got scan reports. I don't think many people use this because you will only need go here really if you get charges from Sabre for scan reports, which most agents don't. But if you need to find some information on scan reports, it's right here on the reports. And specialty reports is your automated exchanges report. This is a billable tool. So this will give you an idea of what your automated exchanges look like. Travel protection, I don't think any of us on this call use travel protection. Next slide. I'm sorry, I was having so many challenges this morning with my computer. I'm not getting anything opened. I barely got into WebEx. This is why I am unable to actually run the PowerPoint myself. Really sorry about that. Right, so the next admin function I want to tell you about is invoices. Last week I got an email from a customer asking me about invoices. Now, if you go here, you don't have to send me a message unless there's something here you need more information on. And I'm going to show you how you do that in a minute. But in this tab, you can get information on invoices to see if there are any outstanding payments for Sabre. There's some products you pay for, like automated exchanges we just saw, or scan charges. So if you want to check, do I owe Sabre any money? You can go here and look at your invoices. You can look at your statements. You just need to put the, the time frame that you want. And there's also a really cool tool under billing help. There are lots of frequently asked questions that you can also, if you have any doubts about anything, go through the frequently asked questions and see if your question is there. And in the frequently asked questions, it also tells you how to contact somebody about billing support. I don't work in billing, so when you send me an email, I then have to go to the person who would be responsible for that to find out what's happening. And that can take some time. But if you go straight to that person, then the response time back to you is a lot better. Okay. And the next thing I want to talk about is product ordering. Now, this is not in Sabre Central under my agency. Where you find product ordering is when you go into Sabre Central, you will see the Sabre Central link. And if you click on the drop-down arrow, you will see the marketplace. That's where you place orders for products. It's called Sabre Marketplace. And there are two ways that you can search for products here. If you know for sure the name of the product, you can type it in the search box. And once you start typing, like I started typing content services for lodging came up, and that's what I was looking for. So I would just click that and continue. Or the products are listed in categories. So you can go over to the left on the category, and you can find the category for lodging. And once you click that, a sub list will come up that you can choose your what you want to order, your product. Now, once you order the product, your selection goes in the shopping cart. And just by the way here, I believe most of you would be would know, or yeah, would be on our new hotel program, which is called Content Services for Lodging. And in order for you to be able to see those rates from the aggregators, you need to place an order. So this is where you would go for that. Go into Content Services for Lodging, and those aggregator, Booking.com, Expedia, Hotel Beds will come up, and you can place your order. Okay, so this is where you do it. Once you place your order, your selection goes in the shopping cart, and you would complete that as you would on any other shopping website. You just go to your cart and place your order. It will tell you what the cost is and so on. Of course, you need to have secure ordering function assigned to you in the site access. All right, next slide. So cases. I think most people probably have opened a case since, you know, this is our new support model. We don't have the 800 number for you to call anymore. So this is your new support model. And how do you access that? Well, from Sabre Central, from the top bar, you just go to support. And next slide, once you click on support, you will get a tab saying get help. Now there's another way you can do that. Slide. And that's from support again. You can go from here and say, go to cases. So you don't have to say get help. You can do go to cases and a screen will pop up that will tell you how to create. You have to click on new case. All right. So two ways you can do that, but either way will land you on the next screen, which is how to contact us. How can we help you? You will find what you need here, right? This is in 3 steps. Before you move, Analia, let me just mention that when you, no, go back. Back one, right? When you go here, you're going to see some links on the side, and these on the right side, these are actually knowledge-based articles that you can click on and either save it to your computer or print it for your references. This is what these are. Okay, so once you go to this contact us page, yeah, you can move now, Adelia. Right. Step 1, as I said, there's 3 steps. So step 1 is where you will select, well, what do you want help on, right? So you select Sabre Red Workspace 360. And then there's a second drill down, and it says, what is your case in reference to? And I put ticket in here. But there's a whole list, so you can select what the best one is, and then you click next. So let's go to step 2. And on step 2, this is where you would add a subject line here. And you also need to put a little description of what's really happening so that the agent who's looking at this can, you know, have a pretty good picture of what your issue is. Now, what I would advise you to do is that if you can add a supporting screenshot of whatever issue you're having, that would be great, because at least they can actually see what it is that you're having problems with. And to add a screenshot, you just copy from your Sabre screen and come here and click paste, and that will go there under your description. And then you click next, and that will take you to the 3rd step. And on this 3rd step, you have to say, what response do you want back? Do you want a call back from us, or do you want an online case? An online case will send you a written response by email. Call back, please verify the number here, because the number that is in the agency's what we call travel journal record will auto-populate here. And most of you are working outside of the office now, so you may want to put maybe your cellular number or some of the number that whoever's calling you back will be able to reach you, and just click on submit. 3 steps. Once you click on submit, you're going to get your confirmation number. It tells you thank you for submitting. You get your confirmation number. It tells you the case was received and the date it was created. Now, my next screen tells you how you can follow up. Back a bit, Analia, 1 slide. Right, so my next screen will tell you how to check this. Right now it says case received, but how do you know if somebody's actioning it, right? If somebody's looking at it, if you have to, you know, escalate it. So the next screen, you go to my support cases, and where we saw a new case just now, you will see my cases and all cases. So my cases would be cases that you opened, your EPR, your sign-in number open, and all cases would be cases for the for the manager or supervisor who wants to check and see, well, let me see what's going on with the cases. Let me see if we're getting, you know, good response from Sabre, or if I need to escalate this to my account manager and things like that. So from the support tab, you go to my support cases and you can view, just click more, and that will give you the details on the particular case that you want to check on. All right, next slide. And the last admin function I want to talk about, and this is not necessarily so much an admin function, but this is a function for all agents, but I wanted to draw it to your attention, and that's how to sign up for training, right? I want to talk to you a little bit about training, in particular the instructor-led training, not the self-paced and so on. With the downtime that most agents have right now, training is one of the areas that you as managers can encourage your agents to enroll in training and brush up on the, I don't know how to do this so well areas, right? So at Sabre, we're committed to provide world-class training. Thus, we have a large offer of virtual instructor courses. They come out every month that allow you to enjoy the benefits of classroom learning from the comfort of your desk or home office. So normally, and I try to do it every month, but sometimes I slip, I would send out an email with the training that's coming up for the month. You don't have to wait on me to do this. You can go in and look at the list yourself, and then if you can determine which agents you want to do it based on, you know, when you would have gone into the reports and see that, oh, they're calling, you know, they're opening cases for this too often or whatever. I need to get them some training. So you check and see what's going on, right? This solution provides the possibility of agents listening to one of our certified instructors. They can participate, they can ask questions, they will have practice and lots more. But the most important thing about this is that the classes are scheduled in the local time and language. One of the things you need to do is to go to their profile, or the agent rather needs to do is to go to their profile in Sabre Central and make sure it's updated. Even if they look at it and they think it's updated, open it and just make a change on something. And
sorry, let me go back.
Yeah, that's all right. And say confirm, you edit it and say save, and just to make sure the profile is updated. All right, so next screen. Right. So how do you access training? You don't see it on the first tab, but it's under the three dots, three horizontal dots. These are called the ellipses. And once you hover the mouse over there, training will open up. Okay, that's another call I have to go to in a few minutes. Anyway, so it's a really easy to follow process. There are three ways you can do it. One is by topic here with the red arrow, where you can again enter the name. By experience, which is actually the instructor-led. That's the one that we really want you to look at, or by date. Next screen. Right. So when you do the instructor-led, you get a screen at the top will say what's new and frequently accessed. Down, next screen. 1 minute. Let me tell him I am going to join in a minute. Sorry about this. All right, so when you move down, you'll see a screen with some topics that you can select and apply filter. Like here I did PNR, and anything pertaining to that will come up. So I had a new agent module and a PNR basics. I select the new agent module. Next screen. The screen where you need to pay attention. It's going to give you the date. Okay, you have a tab here that says description, so you can go in there and see what this is all about. Or the lessons here, these are pre-lessons that you need to actually do before you have the actual training. And what we're in is called the class list. So this will show you the date, the time, and it shows you your local time here. And it shows you if the class is still available or not, if it still has seats, right? One thing I want you to look at is the cancellation policy, just in case there it does apply here. So, and then you click enroll. Next screen. So if, Analia, you can just go through these points for me because I have to go join the other call and I'll come back to the questions.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
no worries, Jane. Thank you very much for your time. So
Thank
you can
you.
just go to your other meeting. For
Okay.
our audience to know, we when we invited Jane, we already knew that she would have to leave for another meeting she has that is very important today. So accept our apologies for that. I will review these bullet points that she noted here for her presentation. Topics that are really important here is that you make sure to have your profiles completed in Sabre Central. Okay, and regarding training topics, if you are unable to attend a class, please cancel the enrollment to avoid a no-show fee. So far, as per the information that we have, you should do that with at least 48 hours in advance. And she was noting here, do your pre-work from lessons, click take lesson quiz to complete the pre-test. All the lessons have a pre-test that you should complete prior to do it. Then you can also download lesson contents and then click the checkbox when you are finished with this task. And you can also access online sessions. Okay, the lessons are scheduled. You can pick them up, enroll as Jane was showing you. So then on the day of the event, you will just access the WebEx session as you did today with us. You can also take the final exam. Upon completion of the class, your instructor will enable a short final exam for you to evaluate your knowledge. So make sure that you pay attention to all the content so then you will be successful and getting high scores in your final exam. Complete also the class survey. You will need to click on Take Survey at the end of the class to provide the global training team the feedback of the class, the contents, instructor, etc. And then finally, you will get your certificate. There is a certificate of completion once you finish your training. So far that would be the part pertaining to the Sabre Central admin tools. A very important thing that we want to let you know is that this session is being recorded, and also we will share with you, along with the recording, the presentation that the ladies, Jane and Analia, prepared for you. So no problem, you will have access to everything that we are sharing in here. So with that being said, Analia, now is your turn. So we welcome you and you can proceed with the presentation.
Thank you, Carolina. So now that we have gone through all administrative options in Sabre Central, I would like to focus more on the EPR or Employee Profile Record Administration in Sabre. Okay, so we're going to go through how to display each employee profile record and the citizen table. Okay, we're going to learn how to create, modify, delete, or make any updates to an employee EPR. Okay, we're going to go through password management tools, some agency security tips, and also how and when actually to contact Sabre EPR support. Okay, so let me start with how to display the citizen table. Citizen table, what we call CST, is the list of every employee belonging to the agency, okay, to the PCC, Pseudo City Code. Okay, to be able to display this, you are going to need a create keyword. Okay, we're going to get into that later. Okay, you can also do it for your branch locations in case you have branch access BC that will let you emulate or AAA to that PCC. And the basic format to display the CST table is Hotel Display Charlie Sugar Tango. Okay, this will show you the full list of EPRs that belong to your agency. Below you will have your PCC, your agent ID or EPR number. You'll see the list below. Next to it, the name, the owner of the EPR. Okay, first initial, last name, for example. Then you will see the status of the EPR. You can see an I for inactive and also an A when the EPR is active. Next to it, the agent sign, okay, starting with A and 2 characters. It could be initials, it could be numbers too, okay, but this is what we keep record in history every time an agent does any updates in Sabre. Okay, for example, when they end a PNR, when they issue a ticket, this sign gets recorded in history, okay, for you to be able to track who made any changes. Then we have office codes, which are really optional. That will let you group agents according to their jobs or their roles. And then we have duty codes. Duty codes, we have 3 possible duty codes. Duty code 6 is used for training purposes. Duty code 9, most of you will have because it's a managerial duty code. Okay. And display or asterisk for regular operations such as displaying availability, issuing tickets, everything a travel agent does every day. Okay, and at the end of the display, we're going to see the total count of EPRs. In this case, I only have 3. What may happen is that next to the last line, you will have a cross of the line, which indicates there is more content. So you can do Mic Delta to move down and keep displaying more EPRs. Now, I also want to go through another way of displaying the CST table, which is using a CST mask. You can see it in the right side. This one only has fill out blanks, okay? And below you have a reference on what every field means. For example, agent ID number. That's the first one that we can see there. So if you're searching for a particular agent, or for example, what's most common is to search for agents with particular keywords. That will be the UIT. So you just have to add each keyword separated with a slash, okay, and press enter, and that will let you search according to your parameters. There are also other useful formats to display the CST table. There is a CST help format that will show you an example of a CST entry and the references that we were able to see also in the CST mask. Okay, that will let you display the CST table using parameters too. Like in the example I tried on the right side of the screen, you will see that I did hotel display, Charlie Sugar Tango. I added a keyword, UAT create. And I also want to search for active agents. So I did comma and change parameter STS for status, A for active. Oh, sorry. I seem to having issues today with the slides. Here I am. So then you see the response. It will include the personal UATs that I search for, create. The status will only show active, and we get 2 results, 2 agents that matches my search. Now, below, you can also see a very useful format that every agent can do, which is the sign-in help, SI help, and the PCC. That will indicate which agents are able to assist on passcode changes, EPR activations, and EPR updates. Okay, so you will see the list below of who can assist. Okay, let me move on to the next screen when we are going to display an employee profile record, an EPR. Okay, so this will be the information for each one of your agents. Of course, to display it, you will also need the create keyword. Okay, and also we have another keyword, which is yes to the S, that will display only the first 2 lines. Okay, so in the example below, yes to the yes will only display the name, PCC and agent sign, okay, EPR number again with PCC, and the office code. Okay, but we get the full response that we can see in the screen, where we can also see the duty codes that the agent has assigned. In this case, this agent, myself, has every duty code, 6, 9, and display. We can also see the keywords, okay, which are next to UAT, I have two keywords, access and HCU-PDT. This is to be able to grant branch access to other agencies and also to display the hotel program manager to make updates to my aggregated contents in content services for lodging. Okay. Then we can also see the status of the EPR. Currently, this one is inactive. We can also see the passcode information. In this case, I have my personal password set up. Okay. I could have a temporary passcode assigned, in which case you'll see temp passcode here. Then you have the information on when the last passcode was assigned and the date, and the created by information, the PCC, the agent sign, time and date. Okay. Next to it, to the right side of the screen, I have added a history response, okay? The history of the EPR, which can be very useful for you to know what happened with this EPR during time, okay? So we do hotel display, EPR number display hotel, or you can also do, if like in the left side, if you pull up the EPR first, you can also do hotel display hotel after the EPR display to get this information, in which, first of all, you will see the created time and date information with PCC and agent sign, and then the detailed history section. So we can see that this EPR was actually inactivated. HDQ signature means headquarters, and this means that my EPR was inactivated automatically after 90 days of without signing activity. Okay. Now, keywords. We were able to see keywords in this display. Keywords help to define what the agent can or cannot do in Sabre. Okay, they are granting keywords like access or HCU-PDT that will let me perform certain tasks. They're also keywords that will restrict some tasks. For example, there's one that is no TKTs that will not let the agent issue any tickets in Sabre. Now, there's the special keyword create. We have gone through this keyword in the first slides, okay? That needs to be requested through Sabre Central, Access and Support, Agency Security, and then there's a create agent request form, okay? Which is only allowed for site administrators, okay? This is a master keyword because it will let you manage all the employees. So probably only few people in the agency will have this keyword. Okay, now all other keywords can be added at the time of creating or modifying an EPR, which of course can only be done by the create agent. Okay, so we're going to go through the process of creating an EPR. First, we need to start the build mode and assign the EPR number and the agent sign. Okay, to start the build mode, we always start with the format Hotel Bravo. We're going to choose an EPR number. And then with a slash, we also add this agent sign with the format alpha and 2 characters, okay? Assigning the agent sign is very important. Without the agent sign, an agent will not be able to access Sabre. So it's very important that you don't forget to add these 2, okay? And we will get the response, new employee ID and the EPR number and PCC, okay? Then we need to authorize changes, authorize this new EPR with the format hotel slash alpha uniform tango hotel space and your name. Okay. That's always mandatory to authorize any changes done to an EPR. Then we will need to proceed to add a name for this agent with the format hotel slash November Alpha Mike, the last name slash first initials. Okay, I just added an example here, but the best thing, will be to always add the correct names, okay, of the owner of the EPR. Then we are going to add duty codes. Since this is just a travel agent, an operating agent, I only added the duty code display, okay, with the format hotel slash Delta Tango Yankee display. We can also add keywords with the format hotel slash Union Alpha Tango slash alpha dash, and we can add every keyword that we need separated by comma. Okay, for example, in this case, I want this agent to be able to AAA to other locations, to see displays in 24-hour time format, to use and assign and create PF keys, and also to assign printers. Okay. Another mandatory step is to assign a temporary password. We do that with the command hotel/Peter Alpha Sugar Sugar. Okay, you can also add the password yourself, although I don't recommend that, okay, because it can become very predictable, okay? For example, if you keep using the same password all the time. So I just always advise to let the system generate the password itself, okay? So it can be completely random, okay? No one will be able to guess it, and here will be the response that you get. Now, to save this, we end with the format hotel echo, and we should get the response done, meaning this was successfully created. Okay?
Analia, let me just
Yes.
interrupt you for a minute. We have one question for Basil
Okay.
King, and basically it is when at creation of the EPR, do agents have the capability of adding the create keyword, or do they have to send an email to Sabre? Let's explain a little bit. Let's
Of
explain a
course,
little bit about
that's
that procedure in particular.
that's an excellent question, actually. Thank you. No, the create keyword cannot be added at the time of creating an EPR, nor can the Sabre help desk assist with that. You will need to go through the process of accessing Sabre Central, clicking on support. Let me see if I can go back. Sabre Central, clicking on support, agency security, and then fill out the form. Okay, this will go straight to a specialized team that will help you with the create agent keyword. Okay, we cannot assist adding create keyword in the help desk. Okay, so this is the
Okay, and
only way. Mhm.
exactly. And one thing that I would like to add is that that particular procedure has to do with the fact that that is one of the most, let's call it, powerful keywords an
Powerful.
EPR can have, that has the capability of creating other profiles and of doing many things. So that is the reason why Sabre had designed under the, let's say, security procedures, a special way of doing that. Then, as Analia was explaining in the presentation, all other keywords you can go ahead and add in the EPR at the time of creation. So thank you for clarifying on that
Thank you,
topic.
Basil. Yes, of course, and thank you for the question. That was an excellent question. Okay, so let's continue, and we're going to see how to modify an EPR. Okay, there are many things that we can modify. I just added an example for an EPR that has a random name, okay, and that is not correct, like I was saying previously. So I started the build mode, okay, with Hotel Bravo and the EPR number. We always get the display of the EPR that we are going to modify or update. Okay, so there I can see the name that is not correct. The agent sign is also not correct. And I'm also missing a few keywords here that I would like to add. So I'm going to authorize changes again and use modification formats, for example, hotel/November Alpha Mike change key, last name / first initial. And I'm also going to add keywords that I was missing. Okay, this format is pretty much the same as when we create EPR. Okay, we add the new keywords with a comma. And then I'm going to modify also the agent sign with the format hotel/Alpha Alpha Mike. And I get the response done. I don't need to save if we update the agent sign, okay? This will automatically save the changes. And you can see in the right side of the screen the new EPR, okay, with the modifications. You can see my name, my agent sign with my initials, and the two keywords added next to UAT. Okay? Now, what happens when an agent leaves the agency temporarily, for example, on vacations, maternity leave, sick leave? The most secure thing would be to inactivate that EPR, okay? So that we can make sure that those agents will not be able to access Sabre while they're not working, okay, once they're out of the office. Okay, so procedure is very similar. We start the build mode. We get the EPR display. We authorize changes. And then we have two ways to inactivate an EPR. The first one is with format hotel Peter, EPR number /inactive dash, and the date until we want this EPR to be inactive. Okay, once the date passes, the EPR will become active again. Or we can indefinitely inactivate an EPR with the format Hotel X-ray inactive. Okay, that will not be reactivated anymore unless we perform another update. Sorry, and of course we get the response done. Okay, now this also makes us wonder what happens when an agent leaves the agency permanently. We will need to delete that EPR. Okay. We also need to do that as soon as possible. So let's start working on that. Formats, of course, we start the EPR build mode. Okay, we get the EPR display, we authorize, and we delete with the format Hotel X-ray display and the word reuse. Okay, once we get the response done, you can see to the right side, if I try to pull up the EPR, we get the response unknown agent ID. And if we display the CST table, you will not be able to see this EPR any longer. Okay, the count is reduced to 2 EPRs only. Okay. Now, let's go to the most common scenarios, okay? An agent gets locked out or the agent is currently inactive. What should we do? We can ask create agents, reset the password, or reactivate an EPR. Now, we have created, and especially because of the pandemic, this has become very common. We might need some other agents to be able to perform this task. So there are 2 other keywords that can, let's say, do these procedures. The keyword passres for password resets only, and the keyword active to be able to reactivate EPRs only. Now, those 2 keywords cannot coexist with the keyword create, okay? Because they're very specific, their power is very limited, okay? So they should not coexist with create keyword. This means that if an agent is a create agent, they cannot add the keyword passres or active, okay? Because it will limit the create capabilities, okay? So let's start with the formats. We start the build mode again, and you will see to the left side a particular line that says invalid sign-in attempt 6. The account was locked, and you can see the date and time. Okay, so to reset, we authorize the changes, and we assign the temporary password with the format hotel/Peter Alpha Sugar Sugar. We get the response with the password automatically generated by the system, and we save changes with the format Hotel Echo. Okay, to the right side, I added an example on how to reactivate an EPR. We can do it pretty much with the same procedure. The difference will be at the end, after we assign the temporary password, we will need to change the status back to active with the format Hotel X-ray active. Okay, and we get the response done. Now, once this is completed, okay, after the response done, the agent will need to attempt to sign in again using the temporary password, and then they will be prompted to change it to a permanent or personal password, okay? Then they will gain access to their accounts again. Now, what I recommend is to have everyone assign their security questions, okay? So that they can self-reset their accounts in cases they get locked. This will not help if they are inactive, but at least it will definitely help if they forgot their passwords or if they are locked. Okay, so what happens if in cases you forgot your password? Okay, you can click in the sign-in window on the forgot my password option and answer the security questions that were previously set up, and also add your new password that must follow the password parameters. Okay, so 7 or 8 characters, no commonly used names or banned words. Okay, so if the security questions were answered correctly and the password is correct, once you click on finish, the agent will be able to access their accounts again. Okay, so it is important also to let the agents know how to configure the security questions. Okay, so to set up the security questions, Once they are in Sabre, you can access Tools at the very top of the screen and go to Options. And in the Options window, you will have the option for password management. Once you click there, you will be prompted to sign in again. After clicking on the log, you enter your password. Okay, and once you are able to sign in this screen, each question will have a drop-down menu for you to choose the question you prefer, and then below you have a blank space to add your answers. Okay, just bear in mind that password management tool is very sensitive to capital letters or spaces. So anything you add in this field, you need to remember exactly how you added it, okay? Otherwise, the password management tool will fail. Okay, there's also an option actually to set up the security questions through Sabre Central by accessing your profile. Okay, you will see the option to manage the security questions for password management tool there as well. Okay, now, in case there was a lot of formats for you, let me tell you that Sabre 360 does have a new option for an agency admin workflow, okay, that will let you create agents, modify agents, reset passwords, and delete agent all in a graphical response, okay, where you just need to fill in the blanks, okay, click on drop-down options, or click, for example, in the options given by the system. This is very user-friendly, very intuitive, okay, so it's very easy to use. You can find it to the right side of your screen at the very bottom once you have create keywords and also submanager keywords, okay? You need to choose the option, sorry, manage my agents. Actually, this was my mistake here. And that will get you to this panel that you can see in the screen, okay? So let's go over some agency security tips, okay? This is very important, okay? First of all, we recommend you to ensure that every agent has his or her own EPR created with a unique password, okay? We do not encourage you to share EPRs with other agents or to have agents, share EPRs, okay? Because of course this is not secure enough, but also it will mess up your history records, okay? When you transmit information to the back office, when you issue tickets, you will never know who did what task, okay? So we strongly recommend you to have each agent have their own EPR, sorry. Besides, there's also a large number of EPRs allowed per PCC. So that should not be an issue, okay, to have every agent have their own EPR. Secondly, you don't have to share your password with anyone, not even anyone at the agency, and especially not even with someone who claims to be from Sabre. We will never ask you for your password information. We only care about your sign-in number or EPR and PCC. We will never ask for passwords. So in case you receive a call or an email from someone stating to be from Sabre asking for your password information, you can be sure that that is fake, okay? We will never ask for that information. Now, I think we have more or less gone over this, but let's repeat. Immediately delete unused EPRs for agents who no longer work for your agency or change the status to inactive when they're out of office. Why is this important? Because even if they leave the agency physically, they can still be able to access Sabre if their EPR is active, okay? They still have their passwords, okay? They can have the password management tool, okay? So they can be able to access Sabre and make changes to anything. They can issue tickets, they can create reservations, they can cancel reservations, okay? Anything that you can think of. Okay, so it's very important that once an agent is not working, either temporarily or permanently, to either inactivate or delete that EPR. Okay, and also if the agent leaving is a create agent, make sure that you assign another create agent by going through the form in Sabre Central. Okay, so that you can always have someone ready to assist with EPR or employee management. Okay, now I have added many useful resources, okay, for everything we have discussed during this presentation. Most important ones, there's one that is EPR keywords, okay, which is a finder link with all EPRs keywords existing in Sabre and what they do. Okay, so it's very important for you to go over that. Okay, and also the last two are very important to handle agency security measures, okay, or agency security risks. Those two are also very important for you to go through. Okay.
Analia, yes,
Yes.
thank you very much. And I was just waiting until you reached here because Roxana was asking us how to get the keywords and from where she could take the keywords, who provided those. And actually, as Analia is showing there is a very large list of keywords that you can, Roxana, use to add to the profiles of your employees. You can use any of them. You will find them in Finder. And in there is a description on which is the function of each of these keywords, okay? So as I said before, I have another question for you, Analia, also actually two
Okay.
questions. But sometimes, as we know that within the contents, we will have the answers for that. Sometimes we wait a little bit, but of course, as we always say, we make sure to answer all your questions.
Of
Very
course.
important thing, this presentation that we are sharing here, we are going to send it later to you, so you will have access to click on all the links and find further information about these topics. So, Analia, the next question that I have here is regarding passwords, and Colin is asking, can all the passwords in the field be the same password to make it easier when having to use that option to reset the password?
Well, as a possibility, it is possible to always assign the same temporary password, okay? However, I don't advise to do that because it can become very predictable. If you use the same password every time, someone might be able to guess it, okay, or they will know your course of action. Okay, so that's why I always recommend to let the system generate one. Okay, also when agents define their personal password, okay, we do not need, I mean, we should not share your password or with anyone. Okay, so we strongly advise you to against using the same password for
Mhm.
everything. Okay, but it is
Exactly.
possible.
Exactly. The advice would be to avoid that practice, but technically it is possible to assign the same to all profiles if it's easier for the administrator in this case, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
so
correct. Thank you,
Colin,
Karen.
let us know, Colin, if that answered your question, okay? Analia, regarding deleting EPRs, what can be done in these scenarios where we want to delete an EPR because we know that the employee is no longer an employee, the person is no longer at the agency, but when we try to delete the EPR, it says that the agent is signing in the system when the EPR is kind of hung in the system. What would be the
Mhm.
right procedure there?
Yes, sometimes when you try to use the format HX display reuse, you will receive a warning that is not allowed while the agent is signing. It
Exactly.
doesn't necessarily mean that the agent is signed in at the moment, okay? Like Carolina said, sometimes system gets hung up on the EPR. So there's actually a workaround. It is also on the resources, but let me tell you what you can do as create agents. If the format HX display reuse fails because of that warning, what you can do is assign a temporary password to the agent you want to delete. Okay, so let's go back to the reset password procedure here to the left side of the screen. You will do exactly these four formats, okay, or commands to assign a temporary password. Once you assign the temporary password, you can sign out from your create EPR, okay, and sign in as the person you want to delete using this temporary password, okay? And you're going to change that password to a permanent one, okay? Once you do that, you just sign out from this EPR that you need to delete and go to sign in again with your own create EPR, okay? Your EPR with create agent. After you try again the reuse format, that should be able to work correctly. Okay, you will be able to delete the EPR from the system. Okay,
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying on that aspect
sure.
because this is something that sometimes happens and it, as you
It
said,
is very common.
not exactly, not necessarily means that the person is working when you know that maybe that person is no longer an employee of your
Exactly.
agency. So
Exactly.
I don't see any other questions here in the chat. I don't know if of the audience. Oh, yes, there is one here.
Okay.
Basil is asking the following. Once you have create in your EPR, you can reset and activate, so there is no need for those two keywords. I would assume that the two keywords are for agents without create in their EPR. Basil, I would like to know if you are referring to, because you are
I
saying
believe,
here those two keywords, but you are
mhm.
not mentioning which they are, but
I believe that he's referring to passwords and active
I
keywords.
yeah, I also think so.
Mhm.
Is it about passphrase, the one that gives the capability of resetting passcode? Yes, correct. Basically saying that. Yes, it's
Okay.
confirming that
Thank
is
you, Basil.
regarding passphrase.
Uh, yes. You don't need if you have create, you don't need to add the other two keywords, okay? This is just if you want to delegate some tasks to other agents, okay? If you want to have another agent apart from you being able to reset passwords or to reactivate an EPR. These keywords, create and passphrase or active, should not coexist, okay? Why? Because create will not only let you reset passwords or reactivate EPRs, but it also, sorry, allows you to create, delete, okay, or modify in any way, okay? The other ones are more specific, okay? So if you were to add this create keyword and passphrase to the same EPR, for example, the create keyword will no longer work because you will be limited by the specific keyword passphrase. Okay, I don't know if that explains the question.
Okay, let's see if Basil confirms that. Yes, it does.
Okay,
So thank you very much, Analia.
thank you,
I don't
Basil.
see any other last minute questions. As you can see, as we said, the references that we are going to share have plenty and go deeper into these topics that were
Mhm.
presented today. Okay, so it will be easy for you to just click on the links and go directly into Finder to find the accurate information that will answer your questions. Being that said, Analia, I really appreciate your presentation today. Okay, it's been our
Of course.
pleasure to count on you this morning. And well, for all of our customers, we want to thank you for your time and participation today in the webinar Agency Administration. As usual, we hope that the information shared here today has been useful and that added value to your business. Let us remind you that within the next 24 hours, we will send you supporting material via email. That supporting material will include the PowerPoint presentation Jane and Analia delivered, along with the recording of the session, and you can revisit the contents or share it with colleagues that couldn't make it to the event. Also, we will add in this follow-up material the link to the customer satisfaction survey. It is very important for us that you complete it, as well as provide your candid feedback about this initiative and let us know which topics you would like to see tackled in the future, okay? It's important for us to be able to tailor an agenda that will suit your needs, but also we want you to take ownership of our initiative and propose all the topics that you feel that will add value to what you do every day, okay? So we are here for listening to your needs and to your interests. So please fill in that customer satisfaction survey. Thank you once again. It is my pleasure always to see that you are our loyal customers that are joining us like in the last 4 years of existence of this team. So we are really thankful. So on behalf of the marketing campaign Latin America and the Caribbean, thank you very much for being always there for us. Thank you again, Analia, and for all of you, have an amazing day, and it will be until the next meeting. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you, Carolina. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have an excellent day.